welcome. And today what we're going to be talking about, magic. Seeing a few comments. One in particular mentioning magic, mentioning kind of like a fear of magic. Went through and I thought of questions that people might ask regards to magic. First and foremost, where does it come from? The first thing that we need to understand is that magic comes from within. Magic from us. Possess that power, that ability to manipulate the world around us. And I understand that when we use the word manipulation, the word manipulation is generally very misconstrued and viewed as something that is very negative. And it is important to understand that in this particular case, it isn't. Much as a Christian or a Catholic would pray to God and ask God to intervene, change something in their life or give them strength. Magic is the old ways. Our understanding of our connection to the world around us, to the trees, to the sky, to the birds, to other people. We're all connected. It's all connected. Everything. The soul is energy. The soul is like a battery. Now your memories, your personality, who you are as a person, all of that is centralized in the brain, and the brain is matter. The brain is physical matter. The brain is determinant of experiences, the people around you, the life that you live, the choices that you've made, the functionality of it in and of itself. It's fail. Dementia. We lose essentially who it is we are. We lose that. It goes away. The soul is essentially a battery that connects us to everything else around us. It's never ending. Now we know that scientifically speaking that we cannot remove matter from the world. It changes form. Well, a body decays. A piece of paper burns. The matter changed. It doesn't go away. It just changes form. We also know that energy, electrical energy, is dissipate, doesn't just go away. Changes form. You know that the brain functions from electrical signals firing off in our synapses. Soul is our battery. Sometimes, certain things may happen that are exceptionally egregious, pleasurable, and a bit of that imprinted onto the soul. And we can then recall those moments, dreams or past life regression, things like that. Soul recycles, as does everything. Universe recycles. Usable, reused into something else, and the soul, no different. Now, where does it start? Where does magic start? Now, my call into all of this, into magic, into Wicca, started at a very young age. I was very drawn to King Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. I was drawn to silly movies like Hocus Pocus. I was skills. And generally speaking, when something pulls you in, when you're drawn to something, there's a reason why you're drawn to it. Focus as to why you're being drawn to it. Familiar about it. Now, fantasy, we know that focus was most definitely fantasy. We know that witches flying on broomsticks doesn't happen. We know that craft was fantasy. Truth. And a lot of people kind of become confused about what magic is and what magic isn't. Magic, we think of making the card disappear, or making a person float, or sawing a person in half, changing your hair color. And though these are very elegant, attractive ideas, true. Though you may not actually be able to change your eye color, your hair color. Magic has the ability of changing your entire life. That I can promise you. Magic does not come from comes from within and from without us. Magic is a naturally occurring aspect of our lives, of who we are. People as magical beings. And I reiterate the point, we are magical beings. We have the ability to manipulate the world around us to our favor. Ability to do great. These things are based on intention. What is your intention? What are you achieve? Realizing your own power. To realize your own power, one of the things that we need to understand, and one of the things that we need to do in order to realize our own power, is to be confident in ourselves physically. Now, there's a 3-tier place here. We have soul tiers, and those 3 tiers are dependent on one another in order to function properly. Do excuse any noise that you may be able to hear. I normally do my video recordings at 2. Stop with this one. So it is about 8 o'clock in the morning. Cars and things like that driving around, so. But starts from within. Understanding that you have. In order to unlock that power, the first thing. Now, the confidence in yourself, that's dependent on you. That's dependent on each individual person. What brings confidence to you, and the understanding to you that you are an amazing being, that you are unique, that you are special. In that lies your power. And that, I can't tell you. I can't give that to you. Only you can. No one else. So with the 3-tier system, the mind, the body, and the spirit, how does this work? We've all heard the phrase mind over matter. Put your mind to it. Possible. Body must follow. I'll look at the physical aspect of it first. The physical, the mundane. Let's talk about something simple. A very simple, mundane example. Let's talk about going to the gym. Let's talk about exercising. Let's talk about the fact that if you don't have a habit of exercise, getting into a habit of exercise is quite difficult. The mind, such a way that the mind is lazy. Mind wants to go the easiest route for things, and make no mistake about it, magic is not psychologically, mentally, or spiritually easy. The mind wants the simple. The mind wants the easy. The mind prefers that you sit and you eat your chips and you watch your TV. That's what the mind prefers, because it is the most relaxed way that it can be. So let's say going to the gym, healthy, we want to. What is the first step of doing that? Not getting yourself psychologically into the right place. No, but physically putting yourself into the place. Your mind will follow the body. We are highly capable of surviving very extraneous situations because the body is a life or death situation. And essentially everything that we do needs to be everything and anything that you want to accomplish. You must physically be in that. In the moment, and the mind follow. If you go to the gym and you start walking on the treadmill, body's going to tell you you're tired, your legs hurt, stop, sit down, break. But if you don't stop, if you push yourself beyond what the mind is telling you, beyond what the subconscious is telling you, follow suit. It's first the body and the mind, not the other way around. We've been getting that phrase wrong ever. Mind over matter, that if you put your mind to it, you can do anything. And though this is true in and of itself, when it comes to pushing yourself, activating the thing that lives in you, the power inside of you, first prove to the mind, your own mind, you yourself, do things where you said that you couldn't. Body, then between the body and the mind, when those two are in sync, when those two are working together, when you are in that situation, when you are in ritual, when you are in when you are looking at the tarot, physically there, you begin to push the mind. Mind begins to synchronize with the body, activates the spirit, activates the power, soul. That is where magic comes from, and that's where it starts. Now the next question would be, how do we control it? How do we control this magic? How do we control this power? Honest, you don't. You don't control it. The visualization is an important aspect of magic. Much like where kind of like we dragged out the law of attraction, that if you want to yourself, you're going to put yourself into positions that are going to put you on the right path to achieve the things that you want to. And we'd love to sit there and think that, well, it's the universe putting these things into place. And though sometimes it may be, that the power comes from you. Do not play down your power. For hundreds of years, we've been playing down our own power, our own ability to be more. That because we prayed to God, that's why this good thing happened, or it's, this bad thing happened. It's God's will. It will be done. First thing that I learned in my life is that when something in my life goes wrong, the first thing I do is I blame myself and I say, what could have I done different, if anything? Sometimes there are situations where you simply can't. You simply can't do anything different. But you will find that in many situations in your life, many of the situations that we try to find a way out of personal responsibility, or something you could have done differently. Again, there are exceptions. But a lot of the time, it's our fault. So I look at when something wrong happens, and when something good happens, I also praise myself. I scold myself when something bad happens if I know it's my fault, and I praise myself when something good happens. Understand your own power. The universe comes out after. Block what is already. Mistake about it, it lives inside of you, magic. You are a magical being connected to the magical world. Now, don't misconstrue this. We're not talking about hobbits and fairies and gnomes. Another day. So we don't control what happens, but we can manipulate direction. Where now we achieve our goals is our responsibility. Nothing is given. Very rarely does that ever actually happen, but famous actor, maybe. Manipulation of the world around you will put you into a position or help put you into a position to meet a producer, to meet a director, to meet a casting director. And then you might find yourself in an opportunity. This is how magic works. Ask for money. Money. Not for free. Based off of what you yourself be able to do this thing. Earn that money. Very rarely will a situation unfold itself before you to be completely free of strings. The universe doesn't work that way. The universe will give. You do have to give back. The next aspect of this is magic evil? So the world will tell you yes. Any faiths of the world tell you yes, based on the fact that they idol worship. To practice magic is pacts with the devil. I only wish it were that easy. It's not evil, and there are pacts with the devil. Sell your soul. Your soul belongs here. Your soul exists in the light. Somebody 100% disagree with me, which will have more reaction videos, my friends. Trust me, there are more in the pipeline. I'm pulling from the source. Call it the source. I can't think of a better. Odin, Thor, whatever you wish. But when you pull from the source, that everything that connects us, all kind of flows from that. Once you begin to understand how to control the demon inside of yourself, the power inside of yourself, the magic that you possess, you can begin to amplify that and pull from the source. It is possible. You can do that. Pull power and amplify the signal that you're sending out. In groups and covens. Practitioner. And once you reach that level where you begin, sky's the limit, really. Magic can change your life. Understanding your connection and your relation to everything around you. The necessity for light and dark. The necessity for chaotic, seemingly chaotic world that we have around us. Necessity. There's a method behind the madness. It's not as black and white as some may say. There's good and evil. Demons. Not that simple. Many gray areas. Sadly, don't get as much exposure because they're not nearly as exciting as some spiritual battle between divine beings over us, that we are so special, fighting over us. Think of the arrogance in that statement. Think of that. That we find ourselves so special that beings infinitely more powerful than us be fighting over us. Bit foolish, wouldn't you say? I think so. But then again, I can't say for sure now, can I? I believe what I believe. Somewhere. Soon I will be setting up a new altar. Creative space here. Or I have that set up. Why I have certain things and why I don't have certain things, and why, goes the left-hand path. We'll also be going over, we'll do some rituals, spell castings, things like that, to give you guys a taste of what it is that I do. I do it and how I do it. I do hope that this answers magic, or perspective of what magic is, how to work it and how to manipulate it. And I do hope that this video finds you well. Maybe helps you on your path. Begin using magic to make your life better. And